All right. I had a couple other videos, but the Sandlot was on, and I watched most of it. So I'm just gonna do a decode of the Sandlot. Some pretty crazy stuff in this movie. Great movie, but anyway, so the film is actually based off the summer of 1962. So we talked about 62 before. 62 in its mirror, 28 or 88. It's 26 years away from 88. 2014 was a big year with 88s, and this year it has continued, but 2014 was 26 years away from 88 as well. So anyway, this movie actually has a lot to do with 2015. Even weirder, I was just up on 74 and 47, or other people talked about it, and this movie came out on 4/7. And here's just a little thing here. The number 4 and number 7 are in the first 10 prime numbers, and they both have, they're the only ones that have a 7 in the number. So anyway, let's get to the movie here. The kid, Smalls, moves in the very beginning, and they show a U-Haul truck. So I just looked up U-Haul. It was founded by Leonard Schoen, and he died on October 4th. I'm not even going to talk about it. Watch my previous videos about October 4th, very significant 88 day. And then right after that, he's telling a story about how he moved to town, and it was right after Maury Wills broke the stolen base record or something like that. And I went to Maury Wills, and he was born on October 2nd, so Oct is 8, 8-2, and he is 82 right now. Another interesting thing, his major league debut was on June 6, 1959, and then June 6th is the 157th day of the year, which is the 37th prime number is 157, and the last game that he played was on October 4th. And the reason they talk about that is because Benny grows up to be a famous Dodger who's good at stealing bases. That's why it's relevant to the movie. Okay, so the address that the house he moved in was 1556. Well, it's 2015, and then 1956 is, was it 44, 50, 59 years ago, and 59 is like an encoded 666. So you got 666 and then a 15. So I don't know. I mean, this might be a stretch, but I'm just the way the movie goes. You'll see. It's all about the beast and whatnot, and 15 and then a 59. It's also 26 years before the end of the Julian calendar on October 4th. So, and then 26, and this is set in 1962. So that's the mirror of 1962. And then this kid, he's kind of depressed because he can't make any friends or whatever, and Benny asks him to go play baseball with him or whatever. And so he goes, and they're sitting outside of the store here, and they got a big Coke billboard. And what did the Super Bowl this year just have? It was like a whole thing about some kid not feeling happy until Coke went into the whatever it is, the electronic whatever, and it sent on his phone, and it made him happy or whatever. So Coke made you happy. Just thought that was funny. This billboard is here. Also, the guy who invented Coca-Cola, is this guy, and he died on August 16th, 1888. Very significant. Also, I'm not sure what they're selling here, but it's something 666. I mean, right on the door of the store. And it's hard to get a good look at it online here, but it definitely says 666. And also, so basically the whole movie is they love Babe Ruth. There's a lot to do with Babe Ruth in this movie. And because he has a signed baseball that he stole from his stepdad, and he doesn't know who Babe Ruth is. And they use it, and he hits a home run, and it goes over the fence to the beast. And the whole point is they have to get the baseball back from the Beast or whatever. And we'll get more into that. But right outside the store here with the Coca-Cola thing, they're talking about Babe Ruth, the great Bambino, whatever. And look, so the guy who invented Coke died August 16th, 1888, and Babe Ruth died on August 16th, 1948. And then he tries to save himself by saying he doesn't know who the great Bambino is, and he says, I thought you said you were the great Bambi. And they said, that wimpy dear. And then you go to Bambi, and Bambi was a 1942 American film by Walt Disney or whatever. Came out, it says August 13th, 1942. So that will be 73 years in August. Also, the movie is actually based on a book called Bambi, A Life in the Woods by Felix Salten or something. And look when he died. October 8th, 8/8. Disney even bought the rights to the book in 1937 in April. And even check out, there's 4 people who played or did the voice of Bambi in the movie, because at different ages or whatever. This one you can't click on. The first one you can click on is Donnie Dunnigan, born on August 16th, 1934. August 16th again. The next one, I don't think there was anything. Well, I guess there were 71. 71 and 17 is 88. And then adult Bambi, that guy was born on September 11th. Also, the only black kid on the team always wears this Kansas City hat, KC. And it's actually because of the Negro Leagues, the Kansas City Monarchs, I'm pretty sure. But it's very interesting, and I'll post a link in the comments here. But this guy's videos, Enter the Stars here, he actually has talked about how there's a ton of stuff to do with Casey, and it always ends up, oh, that's not it. But anyway, I'll leave a link, but it goes to Casey at Bat, which is from 1888, and he talks about, they use Casey a lot, and it's almost like they're kind of like mimicking him or something. I don't know. It's really weird, but I just find that very interesting, and it's very hard for me to explain what I'm talking about. But I'll post a link so you can check it out. And here's Benny brings Smalls here, and all the other kids make fun of him. They call him a weenie, and they say Oscar Mayer even. And then you look up Oscar Mayer, the guy who invented the hot dog thinger. He died. He was born in 1859, and he died in 1955. 59, 55. Talked about it multiple times. Then the fat kid explains to him what a s'more is and how to make one. And s'mores, they use graham crackers, and then you can use whatever kind of chocolate marshmallow, but it's graham crackers. Graham crackers were invented by Sylvester Graham. Sylvester Graham died on September 11th, 1851. Then after they go camping and whatnot, they tell a story of the Beast. They go get another ball, and they make sure that you see the 59 on the window. Okay, here's where it starts getting good. So it's based on the summer after 5th grade. So the summer after 5th grade, most of these kids should be 11 years old, because when you're in 5th grade, you turn 11. So, and in 6th grade, you turn 12. So they might be 12, they might be 10. Most likely, most of these kids are 11 years old. And Squints here goes off the diving board so he can fake that he needs CPR, and then Wendy Peppercorn will kiss him or whatever. So, so he says he can't take it anymore, and he goes to the diving board, and he don't know how to swim. And the other kid said, 3 years of this, and I guess he can't take anymore. So that means he's been there, like, loving her since he was 8 years old. So there's an 8-11. So then right here, this other group of kids or a baseball team comes up, and they start talking crap. And he tells Benny that Benny's the only good one, and everybody else sucks pretty much. And what's interesting, Benny says, "Shut up, Phillips." So this kid is Phillips, right? And then later on here, I'll show you what his number is. And he's number 14. So 2014, Philip Seymour Hoffman. It all had to do with Neptune. Just pretty weird, I guess. So his number's 14 and his name's Phillips. Oh, I'm sorry, I never really fully explained it either. So I don't know what the team name is, but their hats say T. T is the 20th letter of the alphabet. So you got 20, 14. That's why I said 2014. So 2014, 2014. His name's Phillips, and you had, Phillips, Phil was, you had Uncle Phil who died at the very end of 2013, or maybe even first day of 14. All kinds of stuff here, but 2014 Phillips. And then right here, they all take a bunch of chewing tobacco before they get on the amusement park ride. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because it deals with Babe Ruth again, because Babe Ruth died of throat cancer. And it talks about it in here. If you go to chewing tobacco, it talks about Babe Ruth dies of throat cancer at age 53. So 53 and its mere 35 is 88. Then it shows this billboard, Ken L. Ration. And Ken L. Ration was, let's see here, it was owned by Quaker Oats. And Quaker Oats was owned by Henry Parsons Crowell. And he died at age 88. So Smalls is in the Baby Ruth ball, and he hits a homer to the Beast, and they don't know how to get the ball back. They have to wait since a new ball, so they can a little bit before it's home. Okay? So Benny, he doesn't know who Babe Ruth is, so Benny, they're all like to him who Babe, and then Benny says that he's more than a man but less than a god. He's like Hercules, so he describes as Hercules. Interesting. There actually came out in 2014 called her, and it was 98. Another thing that I guess I did kind of funny was that the Beast is actually a dog, and dog is God backwards. So, I mean, it's kind of the opposite. I just thought that was kind of weird. So then Benny has a dream that Babe jumps and talks to him and tells him just to jump over the fence to pickle the Beast, basically, like, and right before he leaves, he sees this baseball card and he picks it up and he says Henry Aaron, and he asks Benny if he can keep the card, and it's just kind of weird, and I'll explain why in a second. Well, Hank Aaron here, he broke Ruth's home run record, and it was Babe Ruth was already dead when he did that, so he would have. That's why he said he didn't know who he was and he wanted to keep it. But Hank Aaron was born in Mobile, Alabama, which is on 88th degree West Meridian. And in 1974, he beat Babe Ruth's record here. But he was number 44. Now check out where the Beast lives. This is the fence, and he lives behind the fence. Look at the top of this house. The pyramid. And the eye, that's what it's supposed to be. I'll show a closer up view, but like, look at that. The pyramid and the all-seeing eye. And the Beast lives at that house. And like the secret weapon to outrun the Beast, Benny puts on PF Flyers. The shoes. And PF Flyers were first produced by B.F. Goodrich in 1937. So I guess 37 beats the Beast. And that actually makes because Jesus was conceived in 3755. And here's a little bit closer look of the house here. Look at it. I mean, it looks like it is the pyramid with the oculus or the eye in the middle here. Then when Benny's running from the Beast, I think this is the Wolfman. It's got to be the 1941, I would assume. But 1941, it came out on December 12th, so 12/12/1941, or 73 years ago. So, so Benny pickles the Beast, and they run all the way back to the Sandlot, and he jumps over the fence where the Beast used to live. And the Beast goes through the fence, and the fence falls on him, and he's hurt, and Smalls and Benny lift up the fence so the dog can get out. And then the dog is really nice and starts licking him or whatever. So, I mean, it's just kind of funny, because so they've been scared of the Beast forever, and now they're basically subliminally saying that the Beast is good. The Beast is actually good, and everybody thinks he's bad or whatever. And I also noticed that Benny is wearing number 30, and it's kind of ironic because they talk about in the very beginning with Babe Ruth, what made him a legend is when he pointed out that he was going to hit a home run or whatever, and that was in 1932. And this movie takes place in 1962, which is 30 years after that, and Benny is like the new legend. And so that is 32 to 62, or is 30 years. But that also is the same thing that happens in Back to the Future. I mean, and it's because they go from 85 to 1955, and then 85 to 2015. So they do 30-year increments in the first two movies. Anyway, you find out that the dog's name is Hercules, and it's kind of confusing because he's the Beast, but Hercules was not the Beast. Hercules did save Prometheus from getting his liver eaten every day by the eagle or whatever it was. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just a little bit confused as to why the dog's name is Hercules. But, I mean, he did save Prometheus after Zeus had punished Prometheus. So, I don't know. Maybe the story's confusing to me is all. So then they bring the dog back. They go to the front door, and they bring it back to the owner. And the owner of the Beast, just so happens to be James Earl Jones. Now, James Earl Jones was also the voice of Mufasa. And I'm going to post another link to another video that you can watch where Obama was born in Hawaii, but there's a Hawaii, Kenya, and it's right next to where the film The Lion King was based off of. And so you have the new king, and James Earl Jones is his dad. So, and then Obama is 44, and 44 is Satan. And there's so much to it. I'm just going to post a link so hopefully you get a better understanding of what I'm talking about. But it's really weird to me that James Earl Jones is the owner of the Beast, and then he's the dad of the Beast and the Lion King. And just another reason why I think something about 2015 is because they go into his house, and he says he'll trade them baseballs or whatever, and he says, thanks, but our ball really is signed by Babe Ruth. And he says, so is this one. And it's also signed by the rest of the 1927 Yankees. 1927 is 88 years from 2015. Not only that, here it says the nickname Murderer's Row is the 1927 Yankees. And it describes the first 6 hitters in the 1927 team lineup. Now look at this. Earl Combs died age 77 on July 21st, so 7, and then that could be even 3 more 7s. Then we got, I'm going to skip over this guy for a second. Then we got Babe Ruth, who this whole movie is based off of. We got the August 16th, 37th day of the year was when he was born. Let's go. Lou Gehrig, I did a whole Ice Bucket Challenge thing on him. It deals with the Goonies and all kinds of stuff. He died at age 37. Bob Musil died in 1977. Also 33 days before the end of the year. And this guy, I'm not sure. Oh well, either way. I mean, that's a lot of 37s and 77s, and I didn't even show you this guy. Look at this guy. Died on April 22nd, 4/22, which is 88, and he was 88 years old. He also died 15 days after The Sandlot was released. 2015, 88 years old. I mean, he dropped out of high school at age 16, and eventually his high school bestowed upon him his diploma in 1988. The team in 1927 was 110-44 was their record. So that means they played 154 games that season, and 154 is 77 plus 77. You also had your 110, which is 55-55, and then they lost 44 games. I've talked about every one of them numbers, and that means they also won, 66 more games than they lost. And also, the reason that they used the Babe Ruth ball to begin with was because his stepdad was on a business vacation thing in Chicago. And I know that's pretty vague, but with all like the 88s and 2015 things, and then you think of Obama and Chicago or Illinois. I don't know. It is kind of vague, but it's there. And then at the very end, you find out about what everybody did, like Squints married Wendy Peppercorn, blah, blah, blah. But the black kid with the KC on his shirt, he ended up going to play AAA ball. And AAA is AAA, which is 111, and September 11th is 111 days until the end of the year, also the day that Jesus was born. And Enter the Stars is the one who talked about this, and then I said, like I'm saying, it's just really weird, I guess, to me that they would even do that. And I mean that because he's the only person I've ever seen that ever talked about that. And then this kid goes on and plays AAA, which is 111, and KC's on his hat. It's crazy. It says that Benny, after he pickled the beast, he became known as Benny the Jet Rodriguez. And I think of Benny and the Jets. Benny and the Jets by Elton John came out in 1973. And also in the very beginning of this video, I talked about the 40. It came out in, well, it says 1974 there. Oh, it was recorded in 1973. It released in 1974. That doesn't make that much of a difference because I was just going to say that in I talked about it in the beginning of this video, about 47, and this song came out in 1974. This song came out in 1974, and Elton John was born in 1947. Also, with the KC hat guy, or kid or whatever, the Kansas City Royals also made the World Series this year, or in 2014. But what's really interesting is that was the 110th World Series. And so 2015 will be the 111th World Series. And look at this here. So the season will begin on April 5th, 2015, with the St. Louis Cardinals visiting the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs beat the Miami Marlins, the MM, in 2015 in Back to the Future, and they win the World Series. But look when the season ends. Sunday, October 4th, 2015. So the season ends with 88 days left to go. October 88, whatever. Like I said, I'm not going to describe it, but I mean, October 4th. Anyway, I think that's all. I mean, I kind of just skimmed through it again. Like I started off like I was going to really, really look into it, and then it just gets so time consuming. So that's all I'm going to say, and have a great night. Just like I said, I'm sure I missed a ton, so bye.